Con Stathopoulos and Josh Phegan come together in an incredible podcast, Grow, Scale, Master.
An energetic approach to drive progress, master skills, build strengths and put the strategy back into rapid business and personal success.
Backed by real-world experience in rapid scaling to playing the long-term game of business, it's the story of all the lessons learned on the journey to mastery.
Be inspired, renew your energy and chase the future with Grow, Scale, Master.
Well, Con, it's coming up to the favourite time in the real estate season.
Yes.
This is like our Super Bowl time.
Yes.
It is the spring special today.
Yeah, baby. Winter, what do they say? Spring and summer bodies are made in winter. I say spring and summer listings are made in winter.
Look at you.
It's true.
Wait, between you and the AI.
Oh.
So let's talk about this little conversation.
Yes.
So how do we progress sellers to now? So this is a really important foundational idea. Would it hurt, Con, to get a copy of a contract?
Yeah.
Would you be against getting some photos taken?
Would you be open to?
Would you be open to us maybe getting one or two
What are
buys
your
through?
thoughts on?
Yeah. Would, like literally, if someone paid you a great price, would you sell now?
Yeah.
Hey, Con, is it about when you sell or when you settle? And so this is all about, like we've got to call a very simple idea about actually using hypothetical questions to go to motivate people.
Yeah, I think that's the key though, mate. Like, sorry to point at you, I'm pointing at you.
Yeah.
I think that's actually the key though, Josh.
Yes.
The key, someone said to me the other day, in your observation, what's the difference between a good and a great agent? Mm-hmm. It's the quality of the questions that they ask.
Yes.
And this is the time to be doing it, mate.
And that whole conversation is that the role of a great listing agent is they list well ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
Now, if you think about it, I know that if you get a great run on from the middle of July onwards into early August auctions,
Yeah.
those early August auctions are often the very best sale prices that are achieved.
Agreed.
We've watched it in Alexander Phillips's business year after year after year.
Yep.
And if you own into that late July, August period in terms of listing volume,
Yes.
you meet more buyers, you meet more sellers, you meet
Correct.
more neighbours,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden August flows into a phenomenal September and October.
Which then feeds you into November, December, January, February, and March. And then we're back at April.
Yeah, but let's get serious about this because
true.
if you own that, then we then have a trigger, and the trigger is Melbourne Cup week, the first week of November.
Yes.
You take that off.
Correct.
And then when you come back, you start listing for
Super Saturday
in January.
So you know what's funny, Josh? Because again, we've just gone through our financial year planning and review. July last year was a record month for our group ever.
Wow.
Ever, right? In terms of GCI, number of listings and number of sales. And that I can tell you categorically was the reason that first half it was set up in July. And I think it's so critically important that all the heavy lifting occurs now.
So I love this about this whole like July and August momentum and the things that you can do.
Yeah.
So here are some basics for me. And these are like great go-tos. Number one, let's get on the phone. Let's ring every single appraisal you've done. Just every single one of them.
Mate, go to your agent box dashboard, see what's open appraisal there, clean it.
Just ring all.
Just ring them.
Say, hey, Con, it's Josh. Thought I'd give you a quick call.
Yeah.
Thought I'd see how things progressed. What are the next steps? How can I help?
Yeah.
And Con, like if I had a buy, could I mention you or should I sell them something else?
Perfect.
Hey,
Easy.
Con, you're actually due for an annual checkup, so you just go and do that.
Yeah.
So that's past market appraisals.
Yeah, second.
Next one is then I'm going to ring every single person who's ever bought a home from you last 3 years.
Perfect. Great.
Why? 40% reduction in borrowing capacity, 70% increase in mortgage costs. My life is no better, but it's costing me 70% more to live it than what it was.
It's tax time. I want an up-to-date opinion of price to unlock equity, to refinance for tax purposes.
And if I own a property and self-managed super fund, I definitely need that before June 30.
Wow, we're good at this.
So literally, let's go and get on the phone and ring all those people. Hey, Con, it's Josh. Thought I'd give you a quick call. Congratulations, you've owned your home for another year.
Yeah.
How are things with you guys? How's the house?
Yeah.
You're due for an annual checkup. It's where we pop out, give you a bit around here on the value, help you make some better decisions for the future.
Perfect.
Now, to me, super simple. I was thinking about this. It's 11 years that I've actually lived in my current house in Balmain.
Where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
How many times have you had a call? Oh.
Yeah, so in any case, let's go and have a quick look.
So that's second. So first one is cleaning up all your appraisals, market appraisals. Second one is past clients last 36 months. Third one.
And then the next one, geez, you push it. What I then want you to do is I want you to say, okay, great. Now I'm going to get really, really good about what I'm going to do with triggers inside of campaigns. So what I mean by trigger, I list a 4-bedroom house. What other 3-bedroom appraisals could I ring about the 4-bedder?
Yep.
Hey, Con, I got something coming to market. I think you should come and look at it. Because if Con likes the 4-bedder, then he'll sell his 3.
Yep.
This is really important for pipeline progression.
Yes.
But then also, too, for pipeline development, hey, Con, I know you've got a 4-bedder. We've just listed a 4-bedder. When it sells, I'm going to let you know.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting because that's actually about getting really, really clear about them being able to list another 4-bedroom So then you can actually take the buyers from the first campaign to the second campaign. And, when people say to me, Josh, how do you do really good quality buyer work? You list what buyers want to buy.
Yeah, exactly right.
So if you know that you've got a lot of demand for 3-bedroom homes, listing a studio and a 5-bedroom farmlet are good, but literally go and try and get more 3-bedroom homes.
Yeah.
And
is there a fourth point?
Yeah, I think that without a doubt that literally your job here is to then find data sets that are big, that are unique, that are untouched. So a really good data set, for example, is archived landlords.
Yes.
And then with your BDM and your PM team, actually having conversations with your existing landlords.
Yeah, I agree.
About their PPR or principal place of residence. Hey, Con, it's Josh. Just thought I'd give a quick call. Look, I know that we used to manage an investment property on your behalf. I just thought I'd quickly check in. Hey, did you still have an appetite to want to do something? We're just seeing a lot of people move from stocks to blocks. So in other words, from the share market into residential property because it's a more stable asset class. Sorry, mate.
That's so bad. Can we cut that one out?
And then the next conversation is, hey, we also noticed it's been remiss of us that you live locally and we've never been out to your principal place of residence.
You know what this is, Josh? This is the winter
strategy.
Yeah, it's strategy, but it's the winter cleanse.
Yes.
You have to sometimes let go of stuff that you've been doing or you haven't been doing and start doing it. So, for example, when you do a cleanse, you got to eat right and you got to, eat more vegetables and all that type of stuff. Because that makes you lighter and it gets you ready for spring and summer.
Right.
So this is such a critical 90-day period. Now you must, if you need, have your break, make sure that's all planned and you're ready to come back, right? But this is such an important part of getting the rest of the year right.
Okay, so then if you then think about, really it's about that selling feeling. So what you've got to do now is you've got to create the environment about actually getting everyone ready.
Yes.
So throughout this phase, get a really simple target. I want to get 10 more listings, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Write them out as you get them. Make it competitive.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, great, let's start the momentum ball here of the photos and the contract and getting a buyer through once we can and, getting even the stylist and the conversation around, getting the renovations and the improvements done. And the amazing thing is that it's cold, Con, and I don't know if I want to do it right now.
All my clients are overseas.
Yeah, well,
perfect time.
People are away.
Perfect time.
You got to create your own momentum.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So if you think about that, literally, better buyer work is really important. So who are the best buyers right now in the business in certain price points and certain types of property? Better seller work's really important. So if I went and had a look at it and I said, okay, out of all of the appraisals that your business did this week, how many people were having a baby? How many were divorcees? How many were job relocations? How many were people that were downsizing?
Yep.
Are you amazed that still the industry does not yet categorize people based on those problem types?
I am. What I am amazed though is that people haven't put the thought in to be able to categorize them, because you can put categories into your, agent box CRM or whatever it might be.
Custom class.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is interesting about if you know, and we're working with an agent who 4 out of their 5 appraisals have been downsizes.
Yeah.
Build the one pager on downsizing.
Correct. Right? Yeah, that's exactly right. You know what else this period is really good for? Is really setting the intention, the targets, and the focus for the year ahead.
Well, this is the financial year setting, right?
This is it, right? So this is July. I love July. Because I get to have a break.
Okay.
But we also get to kick off the new financial year, reset our targets, see what worked last year, and see what we can do to become better this year. And it's such a really good time.
Well, to me, it's about a mindset of progress.
Yeah.
So I want to be better than yesterday. I want to be better than this time last week. I want to be better than last month. I want this month to be better than the same month last year.
Yeah.
And if you think about constant progress, that Kaizen principle of constant improvement, you're actually finding ways to go to get there. So, spring is now. And literally, what you got to think in residential real estate, a minimum of 6 weeks out to 90 days is how far you got to be thinking ahead.
Absolutely agree.
And so, you got to be planning, you got to be looking at that and seeing what's actually happening. And none of this is a surprise. And one of the things that I've got is a mood calendar.
A what?
A mood calendar.
A nude calendar. Wow. I don't know. Whoa.
A mood calendar.
A mood calendar.
So
okay.
How do people tend to feel in June?
Yeah.
And I write down what I'm getting in the training rooms and what's the sort of the objections that I tend to get.
What do you get now?
People are is it a good time? I just want to relax. I'm a bit sick. The kids are sick. We've got school holidays coming up.
It's a bit grey and gloomy, right?
And so literally, and then what you got to start to say is that, hey, find some sunshine here. Because this is the time to go, okay, I can work on some other projects, but you need a great work list.
I love that.
Of things that you can just turn to so that if you see that it's a bit dark, you can get some sunshine pretty quickly.
Experiences that rapidly shaped you.
one of the things is about like reading data for better insights. And, Con, one of the ones that's really interesting is going to your suppliers, for example, like your photographer, your videographer, and getting them to give you a graph of the number of jobs that you order on a week by week, month by month basis to actually see where the weak periods are in your business where you're not photographing properties. And so then you can identify you're obviously not appraising and you're not listing heading into that period.
So basically trends and insights.
Yeah, but you've got the data there, but you've got to know how to go to look for it to see that that's actually happening. And this has been one of the interesting ideas that we're sitting on. Like, a great idea here is say, I had someone the other day go, Josh, I've got a problem. I want to try and sell houses. And I was like, well, okay, what do you do at the moment? He goes, I sell a lot of units. Like, how long have you been doing it for? 20 years. So I said to him, so when you sell the apartment, what do they do? He goes, they go and buy houses. I said, but who from? He goes, well, from the competitors.
Right.
I'm like, so, but don't you get the forwarding address? He goes, well, yeah, we do. I'm like, well, why don't you ring them about the house? He's like, man, good idea. So I said to him, so do you have a rent roll? He goes, yeah, look, we've got 1,000 properties. I said, how many landlords live locally? He goes, like, well, 700 of them. I'm like, well, why don't you go out and see them about that principal place of residence? And he looked at me and he just sort of said, he goes, man, it's so crazy because sometimes you can be working in a business for 20 years and you just don't see that opportunity and you pigeonhole yourself because you don't see the chance in the data. This is about like reading that data for insights. I think that's what that was.
Yeah.
So like sitting inside of your business, when you go to see that insight of where do the landlords live and where does the buyer, come from when they buy and where does the seller move to when they sell? And if you map that data and you go and have a look at that, then that makes a huge difference. And you and I were having a look at a dashboard system the other day that actually does that.
Yes,
so literally the data's actually sitting in there. And what they did in that is really amazing to go and have a look at the transactional data so then you can actually go to see what happens next.
Something that's changing your view.
Now, Con, a few weeks ago,
I saw this.
Yeah, the video is amazing.
This is a game changer.
Well, it's a big moment, and what I would say to you is that actually there was the announcement about Jony Ive, and Jony Ive was the incredible designer behind a lot of the Apple products, the iPhone and MacBooks and the MacBook Pro and all of those things. And the interesting conversation is that literally he left Apple and he's been working on a secret project and it's just come out that then OpenAI, it's like something like $10.1 billion dollars that's actually being sold for. And Johnny's now designing a device on behalf of OpenAI.
This is the same moment.
Yes.
When the Apple iPhone first came out and completely changed the industry. I think we're about to see this.
And so from that point of view, it just goes to show that literally, hey, what's the one game-changing merge, acquisition, recruitment thing that you could do that would rapidly change the course of your business?
I love that. That's awesome.
What I also love too was their release video.
I saw it.
They're both walking
when they're
in
walking in San Francisco and they meet at the cafe.
And they go and do that. And I'm like, why don't we have a better launch of agents coming to work and join your brand and really tell a better quality story about that?
I actually was just thinking then, you're absolutely right. Why haven't we designed it like that? Because that was a very soft launch, but it was 9 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yes, it was, yeah.
I watched that. I watched it this morning. I was like, that is excellent.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you the story and the presentation. That's a really important part of what we do.
Yeah.